Welcome to another Thursday afternoon, and thanks for joining me for an afternoon break in the Akashic Records. I swear, I think I could almost call this one an After Dark episode because it is dark outside and rainy. It's a little chilly. It's a perfect cozy day to be in. I am glad we get to take this little break together, be cozy, see what the guides have to say. So today is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I'm Betsy Grady, and this is my weekly, mostly weekly ish show. Just afternoon break in the Akashic Records. And what I like to do, oh, there's some thunder. I don't know if you can hear it. Um, is read the Akashic Prayer, take a few minutes to connect or a few seconds, and then open up with a general message from the guides, masters, whatever beings are coming in. I just lump them all together for keeping it easy and call them the guides. Um, and then I will answer your questions. And most of the questions are sent to me via email, and I've included that in the description on YouTube. And if we have time, I can get to questions that y'all might send in while we're here together. So thank you for joining me. And if y'all are ready, I'm ready. Just like I would do in a reading, I would ask you to close your eyes. If it feels comfortable to you, let yourself relax. Feel yourself just being open, ready to receive. Remember, you may not have a question today. You might not have sent one in. You might just be thinking one in your mind. Your guides are listening and they'll find a way to answer it. So just allow yourself to be in that receptive mode, being open to whatever wants to come through for you today. Okay. I ask God if He will have a shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay, this isn't taking long to connect today. So it's really funny. I've been doing course readings all week, and there has been a theme that has shown up. And several people have asked the same question. And so the guides want me to bring that up today. And the question that people have been asking, the gist of it is, how do I change the circumstances that I'm currently in? And so most people were talking about where they live, the environment they live in, the communities they're in, or lack of communities they're in, and wanting to be in a different place. And it's just really funny. That question has come up several times this week. And so the guides want to talk about that a little bit. Change is it's like when one friend said to me, change is the only thing we can count on, right? It's the most consistent thing in the universe. There's always going to be change. It's a part of our journey. We are here to have experiences. So change can happen by force, or it can happen by our design. Sometimes it just happens as a gift, assistance from the divine beings around you. So what happens though when you're in a situation and you feel stuck in that situation and you want it to change so badly, and you want to be in a different situation or environment or relationship, or you wish the relationship was different, whatever it might be. And when you find yourself desiring change in whatever way, and you feel stuck and powerless, what the guides want you to understand is feeling stuck and powerless is the energy and the emotion that perpetuates. So you have to change, and you're in control of this. the emotions that you're feeling. And when you do that, you change the energy of what's fueling the situation you're in. So remember, feeling stuck and powerless keeps perpetuating those feelings continue. And so your experience doesn't change. And yeah, it can get to a point, years maybe, that the guides will finally intervene and create a circumstance that you may not like, in order to facilitate that change. Bottom line is, they're giving you plenty of time to facilitate the change on your own. And what they want you to know, it's very simple. They said it's hard, but it's simple, is to facilitate change in your life, you have to surrender and accept where you are. And in that surrender and acceptance is when things begin to move. You may not have evidence of that at that time, and you have to be consistent with that surrender and acceptance. What will accelerate the movement, they're saying, is to find appreciation and gratitude for your present reality. And because one thing that's known is your guides know what you want. They know. They know your dreams. They know your desires. And they have seen enough and heard enough of what you don't want. So you can rest assured they know what you want. And they know what you want anyway. They knew what you wanted before you came down into this life. So you don't have to sit and think about this vision of something or this of something, because sometimes when you're thinking about the manifestation of a different situation, it can make you a little down that you're not there yet or you don't have that yet. And so they want to take all that out of the equation for you and realize, don't worry about that part. They've got that part. That your work is to surrender and accept, and then find appreciation and gratitude for where you are right now, that present moment. And if you're living in a situation, a city, town, whatever, that you feel there's not enough like-minded beings around you, or you don't fit in, or you don't have a sense of community where you are, that's okay. And that's just fueling that desire out there. So what you want to do with that situation is find what you can love about that community. It may not be the community for you in the long run, yet it's your community right now. And so what are the beautiful things about it? Even though it's very different from what you want in your life, find things to be grateful for, find things to appreciate. And this is the quickest way to facilitate change in your life without the universe coming in and having to like drop the gauntlet on something, because that can happen. And and that's a lot of times why people get illnesses or car accidents, is because they're, one, not getting the messages, or two, they're just staying stuck, maybe not even realizing they're stuck, but staying in that place of wanting a different life, and not really harnessing the power within to change that. So think about that as you go through your week this week, or the rest of this month even. How much more can you appreciate? How can you find things to love? And I read a Buddhist practice a long time ago. I was reading an article by someone who practiced Buddhism, and he said he was walking along the beach and he was just admiring how beautiful it was. And he was the only one out there, and it was very quiet. It was really early in the morning. And he said the waves were crashing and there were shells. He said, the birds and everything about it was serene and beautiful. And he came upon a pile of trash that some beachgoers had left. And he said he was able to look at that trash and find beauty in it. And where my initial response was like, oh, why did somebody do that? Why don't people have respect, for the earth and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I looked at it, and that's his word. I looked at it as, this is evidence of people having a gathering. This is evidence of people being together. This is evidence of people celebrating. And this is evidence of people caught up in their moment. And he didn't look at it as trash, and he saw it for what it was prior to becoming trash. And I thought that's really powerful, to be able to rephrase something in your mind like that. And that has always stuck with me. And so if you find some things this week, like that trash on the beach, that you want to have that initial reaction to, remember that's human. Yet we can be in the practice of finding the beauty in the story of it, and maybe look at it what it was before it became what it is. I don't know, but I wanted to share that story with you. It came through as a memory for me to share, and see if you can practice that this week. Notice what gets your attention. Notice what you want to have an opinion about or a judgment about, and see if you can rephrase that in your mind, or reframe it, hold a different picture, because that's how you're going to change things in your life. So when you can love and appreciate what's going on in your life, where you're living in this moment, who you're living with, is when you can begin to see change in those situations and circumstances. What a great way to start. Okay, so I am going to hop into some questions now. Okay. So I just had several tests completed, which are all showing a cyst on my kidney. I'm in a good frame of mind. Let's see. So if it is something to concern myself with, I know I'll be able to handle the outcome. My question is, do my guides or angels see me having difficulty with this kidney cyst? Okay. Well, interesting that you would bring in this. This question would come in right after what the guides wanted to talk about with facilitating change in your life, and how sometimes we manifest health conditions because it does force us to create some change. So think of kidneys and what they do for the body, and think of what a cyst is. A cyst is like a little hard deposit, you can even call it, of a maybe anger, just but a very strong emotion that's been sitting. And so kidneys help us in eliminating things. So the message for you is, they're giving you two answers. You didn't ask for one, but they want to answer it in this way, is that they want you to look at what emotion, maybe anger or frustration. It feels like frustration more for you, that you've been holding on to. And they are saying this physical condition has manifested for you to learn to eliminate that frustration, and for you to just let things go. And you carry a lot, and you worry a lot, might be a little anxiety in there. But they are saying to learn to let go, and cyst kind of, you could also look at it as almost like blocking the flow. It's not a kidney stone, so it's not like blocking the flow, but you don't want it to become that way. So for you, it's about being in the flow and not being frustrated with the flow that you have. Does that make sense? It does look like you'll have assistance addressing it, and that you'll be fine. But I would say take this as kind of a warning to really start living for you, letting go of frustrations, worries as much as you can, and that you need to know that you're safe, and you still have many beautiful years ahead of you to enjoy. That's just what they want me to tell you. So, but it does look like you'll have to have some kind of, I don't know if it's surgery or work to remove the cyst, but take it as a warning sign so that more doesn't show up. Okay. Okay. Here. Let's see here. right. My question is in regards to my youngest son, who's 34. He's been dealing with depression and chronic insomnia since his early teens. We've tried so many things, none have helped very much, especially with insomnia. I honestly don't know how he continues to function, as he is lucky to get a couple of hours, 2 or 3, of sleep a night. Let's see. I'm really hoping the Akashic records or guides can give me some insight, any suggestion that might help him or give us a direction to look for a cause. My heart breaks for him, as he has no partner to support him and we live 3 hours apart. I just want my baby boy to be able to feel some joy. Thank you. Oh, I know how to be a parent, to feel for our children. I don't have children yet. I totally get it. Totally get it. That love is like no other. So let's see what the guides say. Well, interesting. It's really curious, the journey that your son is on. One of the things that I'm hearing to tell you is that he's highly sensitive, and that it's almost like part of that insomnia. I would say even depression is because of his sensitivities. And when I say sensitivities, um, I would say all of his senses. He is tuning into a lot going on in the world. And uh, he if he has not really practiced on developing his intuition, I would highly recommend that. So, one of the things that I'm hearing that would just help right now in the immediate is, oh, this is great. The guides are saying, one, for him to appreciate the sensitive gifts he has. He might not even realize he has them, but they said to look for the gifts in the insomnia. And so what's happening is it's almost like when he tries to sleep, he's so connected. It's like he can't turn that dial down. Sometimes at night, and this happened to me a long time ago, when I would sleep, I could hear radio waves, and I could hear radio stations, I could hear music, and that, I mean, of course, you can't get up and turn anything off, but it was there and it would drive me nuts. Um, so I would say your son has some of the same sensitivities, and he's hearing things, picking up on things, tuning into things that he's not necessarily conscious of. I mean, I would even hear commercials on these radio stations. It was crazy. And I still do sometimes. So I would tell him to go with the insomnia, be open to it. What is it trying to reveal to him? And so this is the beginning of appreciating this situation. The depression for him, what's happening is he's feeling lost and so disconnected from himself, and like there's just too much going on. So if he would be open to it, and this is what the guides are saying, two things. They would have him start meditating. They would have him listen to guided meditations at night, preferably, when he's trying to sleep. And if he wakes up, just put another one on. And it's one of the things I'm hearing, it's almost like his brain is in this pattern now, in this groove, but he still has time to work with it and change it. We all do, no matter what age. We can change the way our brain is working. So I'm hearing to get him to really be open to meditation, really be opening to developing those senses where he really is feeling and listening and hearing and knowing and sensing. So this is the beginning of that path for him. Yet it looks like it's meant to happen. I think he's supposed to be here in a different way than he might be planning on being here. I don't know what he does for work or anything like that, but it does look like his personal life is about to be open to the spiritual world, and meditation is a doorway that he's meant to walk through. Where that leads him, I'm not sure, but I would say there's going to be it feels like that him walking through that spiritual world, that door is on purpose. And the sooner he gets to it, the more relief he will find. But it does look like meditation's the doorway, guided meditations. If he can't find something he likes, tell him to keep looking, keep searching. It's out there. Yet he can also listen to music. So whether it's the solfeggio tones, whether it's binaural beats. The Monroe Institute, the Expand app, has just wonderful music that you could listen to drift off to sleep, and that has the binaural beats in there. But those all work to train the brain into a different wavelength so that it will help him. But it does look like he's meant to embrace this, know that it's temporary. Even though it's been with him since his teens, it does not have to stay with him through his adult life. That he's meant to walk a different path, and he may find as he explores the spiritual side of life in that way, going within but being connected, the depression begins to lift. He starts to find a little more happiness and light, and dare I say, move to joy. And he may change what he's doing for a living. So it feels on purpose to me. If he's open to hearing that, share all of that with him. Um, but that's where to start. So, and just know it's temporary. Even though it's been a long time, it's still temporary. Okay, thanks for asking that. Okay. Hi, everyone. So glad to see you all on here. Okay. Oh, so thank you, Lisa. Lisa just said tell you guys about my Liquid Mind program. That's right. I do have a meditation program on my website. As a matter of fact, I'm so glad you said that, Lisa. I had someone tell me yesterday she's been doing my program for the last 3 weeks, and she said that where she's normally angry or quick to being frustrated, she said the meditations, and she's followed them in order, she told me, has helped her catch it. And she's like stopping her anger and her frustration and able to change the way she's processing things. So thank you. Thank you, Lisa. I so appreciate that. Okay, here's a question. I am wondering if you can tell me what past or future life is influencing me today. Oh, fun question. So what's really cool, future lives, they do influence us. And I know that may sound strange, yet they do. And a lot of it is because each lifetime we build upon another. Now, they're not sequential in the sense that if I'm just, this is very simple. If I'm like studying and becoming a nurse this lifetime, oh, I'm going to be a doctor next lifetime. It's not sequential like that. However, we do have experiences in this lifetime that are shaping us for future lifetimes. And we are often putting deposits, I always say, into our future lifetimes. So things that we don't get done necessarily this lifetime that we want to, that we've had strong desires for, sometimes that's happening because we're putting that deposit in the next lifetime. So past lifetimes influencing us. Now, okay, let's see here. A lot of teachers out there or people that bring spiritual messages forth, some will tell you that the past life has no influence on this life. Many will tell you they do. I would agree that they do. Only in one sense, though. We're so think of it when we're so the guides are answering this in a bigger way too. So past life influences us because we make different decisions in this lifetime, not because we're I used to joke that I must have been really horrible to men in a past lifetime because, I didn't get married till I was, I think, 50, 51. And I always thought, oh my gosh, I had lots of boyfriends, but I thought I must have just been horrible in a past lifetime to men, and I'm getting payback this lifetime. And being funny, yet that's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. We we evaluate the lifetime we had, just like the one we're living now. And when we're planning our next one, some things we've already laid out, and we decide, gosh, I had that experience here. I want the opposite experience next time, because I want to see what the opposite of that is like. So that's really the only way a life would be influencing us in some way. Um, Give me one second. And sometimes there is past life memory and things that feeds a fear for us. And we have to understand, how is that fear feeding us this lifetime? But I'm going to ask for you specifically what your guides would want you to know. Um, Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm glad I checked. This is not kid friendly on my YouTube video. As I was setting up today, they are telling me that um, it doesn't feel like a recent lifetime, but it's definitely one that still has some energy in your experience. So, our soul does have memory, and they are saying that you were. Like a madam of a brothel, looks like in France. And you had a very successful business. You were very powerful. And it looks like, just hearing to tell you this, that you took advantage of the men, and I felt very justified in doing so, because that was just the time, and men could be very disrespectful. They're saying. And they said you were very good to the women that worked with you. You did run a solid business. Hang on here. One of the things they said, though, it wasn't like you took advantage of the men to line your purse. And they said what you did was give back to the community. And you actually donated lots of money in charity to orphans at the time and schools at the time. So one thing that was really important to you is use that situation you were in, and understanding how some people get into that situation. You really made it your life's mission to get children on a better path early, so that they could have different choices in life. You really believe strongly in education. I'm not sure what you do this lifetime. I don't know if education is another big deal to you, but it also looks like books were very important to you. And so it wasn't like you took advantage of men, because these were people that wouldn't ordinarily see that side of humanity and donate or give charity to. So you did. And it was really powerful, the influence you had in the community you were in. But I just see you giving lots of books, encouraging reading. Even the women that worked with you looked like education was a very big deal to you. And you celebrated intelligence and education, and for the women that worked with you, but also, like I said, for the schools and the orphanages there, because you wanted to see children have a better chance of a different life sooner. Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you for asking that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's the question. Where is the best place for me to give birth? Home, private birth center, or hospital? My dilemma is I don't have sufficient insurance coverage, but I don't want a mainstream, heavily drug-assisted type birth with epidural and all that. However, due to a liver disorder, I'm also categorized as high risk. Okay, that's big stuff too. Let's see here. Well, actually, it looks like the hospital still. And it looks like your energy, and this is what the guides want you to hear, your energy, they know what you want, remember, but your energy will line up with the right people to assist you. And so you have to stay in that kind of high-flying place that you do, where you feel connected to spirit and you're trusting in that flow and you feel like the divine is just holding your hand through all of this, it's like, and when you're staying in that place, they're telling me that you're going to line up with the right people, the right situation. There will be great assistance for you, and they will listen to you. If you don't want the epidural, they're not going to force it. It just looks like hospital, I would say, is the current trajectory, and to trust that your energy is going to line up with the right people to assist you. And remember, this little child has a design of how it wants to come in also. So some of this you can influence, some of this that child's going to have its soul imprint on already. And so it's really important you trust where you're being led to, because this soul is trusting you in doing that intuitively and being in the situation you want to be in. So you're co-creating with this little soul already. Just remember that. So it's important to listen to what feels right to you. At the same time, remember, this is a co-creative process already. But it does look like there's someone you're supposed to meet, I would say, in a hospital that will be a very helpful person and could be a friend for life. So that's kind of cool. And this little soul, I would say, is already participating in that and calling that forward. Okay. All right. Let's see. So sometimes I get these questions, really general questions like, please tell me what my spirit team wants me to know right now. So those are a little bit hard to answer. And I mean, they're not like this, but I'd rather use these sessions for specific questions and answers that you might have, because so many of us get things out of the specifics. So, however, I'm not in control of what questions come and what answers come. And I will throw that out there and see what your guides have to say. What do my team want me to know right now? Well, they are telling me you already know so much, but they are telling me to tell you that you are very much loved. So sometimes when you ask a general question, you might get a general answer, but they want you to know how much you're loved. And whether you feel that or not, in your human reality, in your soul reality, you are very much loved. They said they would like for you to take a mirror or stand in front of the mirror and really appreciate yourself and love yourself and find all the amazing things about who you are. And that's an exercise, we could all do. But look in yourself in the mirror, spend time looking at yourself, and really don't walk away from it until you have felt real appreciation for who you're looking at, what you're seeing in that mirror. So thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness, let's see. All right, I'm going to look. Oh, wait, I have one more question. Sorry that somebody sent in. Okay. Do the guides have any little tidbit about the article that I'm waiting to be published to get me through this friggin' day? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, they said they would like for you to try and get into a state of eager anticipation, and almost like a kid at Christmas, or just like I read earlier, the kid being on the journey. Are we there yet? It's that eager anticipation, but that delight, like I'm going to be so wonderfully surprised. Like, this is so excited. And if you could get to the place where it's just, oh my gosh, oh my God. Have you ever ridden a roller coaster and it's like you're going up and up and up and up, and it's like, oh, you get really tense and nervous, but as soon as it lets go, it's just a wild, fun ride, at least for me. Um, and they're saying the same thing for you. It's like waking up on Christmas morning as a child and all those presents there, and you're it's like you've been asleep already and it's almost time to get up, but it's not quite time to get up yet. If you could turn that into some excitement, delightful surprises on the way. Um, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So they said, hang on one second here. Watch for the number 2 today for some reason. See multiples of 2s. I don't know what that means. But they're just trying to give you signs, things to look for. But it just looks like 2s all over the place today for some reason. So, okay. All right, let me see what I have over here. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad y'all joined. Okay, we had the embryo implanted on the 7th, is all safe and secure. All right, let's take a look at that. Well, they're showing me a heart around it, and then they're showing it like they took me to an image like if I were looking at a flower, but then the flower shrinking into a bud and into a seed, like you're at the beginning stages of the process. And it does look like, though, it will come to flower, it will come to blossom, it will come to birth, to sprout, if that makes sense. So I would feel confident with those images coming through like that, that it's safe, it's in process. Okay, thanks for asking. All right. Okay, good morning. Why is our daughter 28 years old and not wanting to work and so resentful and ungrateful towards my husband and I? She's highly educated. Anything we can do or change? Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Well, one of the things that I'm hearing is that it would be important for you and your husband, that your guides are saying, to kind of surrender this to. If you're just joining in, you didn't listen to the beginning of the program, I would go back and listen to the very beginning, because it talks about how to create change, where we're looking at a situation or circumstance that is not pleasing to us. So I'm also hearing to tell you that it's not your work, you or your husband, no matter how much you love your daughter, it's not your work to fix her or to rescue her. And at some point, this is a surrender for you guys to let her be on her journey. So it looks like she's not taking responsibility for who she is, where she is. I would say she's highly educated, yet she's very insecure, and she doesn't have the confidence to step out. And instead of really realizing how powerful she is, it's just easy to blame, it's easy to resent and stay stuck in her situation. And so what your guides are saying is, let her be there. Just let her be there. And she can't be there forever. At some point, it's going to change. So people often have resentment towards us, and this is your daughter towards you, when she is seeing in you everything she thinks she's not. And people are critical of us. They want to bring us down, but really what they're doing is revealing how they feel about themselves inside. So the resentment that she has, whatever that might be. She's telling a story to herself that's not true. And your guides would ask you not to get caught up in that. And they said, just for a little while, surrender, let it go, let her be on this journey, let her have the resentment. And it looks like it's important for you and your husband to take a few trips and just start living your life and just let her figure this out. Now, she's also at a point in time where she's entering her first Saturn return, so which is age 30. Yet we feel the energies, 2-3 years before, 2-3 years after, but it brings great transformation. Great transformation. So it could be relationships, career, marriage, divorce, moving. It does, you name it, but most everybody will remember what was going on in their lives at that time, around 28 years old. And your daughter is in this time. So you can rest assured, on the grand scheme, things are moving. Saturn is the planet of transformation. And so it's coming in for her, and it will create change. There's no way around it. It is like a fact of life. So part of you needs to trust in that. Part of you needs to find your own happiness and let your happiness be independent of what she's doing. Because remember, what we focus on expands. And if you focus on her being in this way, she's going to stay in this way. So take your focus off of that for a while. Find things in your life that you love, you and your husband both. She'll figure this out. She will figure this out. Yet it looks like she's making it harder for herself, but it's whatever her soul is wanting to work. I'm not sure. But I would say her too, feeling disconnected from a spiritual world, or divine essence, or, that faith and trust in life that she's supported. It's almost like she feels like she's in this alone, and that's her story. And, but that's okay. She'll figure it out. And you've got to trust, on some level, her soul has a plan for itself, just like yours and all of ours. Mhm. Yeah. And so for you, it's about staying in your truth, staying in your joy, and not letting your happiness be dependent on what she's thinking, projecting, doing, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I've been teaching art at a junior college for 24 years, even though I'm just part-time now. I'm so burnt out. 24 years is a long time. Okay, do my guides see a way for me to get out without being penniless? Okay, let's see here. So I'm kind of curious why you're not teaching art on the side, like private lessons, private students. I don't know if you really want to do that. Um, hmm. So the guides are telling me you've told yourself a story, that yeah, that you need to be teaching in order to make money, and that you have to have this job. It's almost like I have to give to receive. And like right now, the reason you're burnt out is because it's just become about work. And I'm doing this for work. I'm doing this to survive. I'm doing this for money. And so they understand that. I mean, that is obviously how we get around here on the planet. Yet they want you to realize that you have many more talents and gifts that you could be using to make money. And so oftentimes this happens for a lot of us, is we find ourselves in situations where we need to figure out a way to make money. And instead of working in a job, the design is for us to use our own creative talents, our own gifts and skills that we brought in with us when we were born. It's like we're part of our journeys is to meant to find those gifts and live in those gifts. A lot of our souls design that for ourselves, and uh, it's scary, to create something and put it out there. Yet I am hearing you are meant to. I would say find other work if that makes sense, but it feels more like working for yourself, personal, might be something you start on the side right now because you're not ready to just like jump into that entrepreneurial world, you know, right now. It wouldn't be wise to do. The other thing they want you to remember is what got you there in the first place. And if you could get back to that and feel connected and remember you're still meeting fresh eyes in the classroom, so to speak, and you still have the power to influence and inspire. And so remind yourself that. And if you can remember, you're not just doing this for the money, something got you there in the first place. But there's more for you to do. I would say outside of the classroom, that feeling of burnt out is happening because it's the beginning of the catalyst for change. You're meant to really respond to that. You are burnt out, and that burnt out is meaning, okay, what else is out there? So it's forcing you to look for other things. I don't see you staying in that teaching job. I wouldn't even say another year or two at the most. So I feel like you're going to find something else to do, might even find something else to study. But mm, I would say you're going to start getting some art out there some way, somehow. Yet, um, I don't feel like you're going to be there another year or two at the most. Two even feels long. So something's coming. The burnt out feeling is waking up a desire in you to like have something else. Um, you're not meant to just retire, though. I'll tell you that. You're meant to be living here in an inspired way, honoring your gifts. So part of the work is finding out what is that. And then a lot of us are like, well, what are my gifts? Well, what did you want to do when you were a child? What was fun for you? That is a real indicator. I'm not kidding. But go back to that time. What did you dream about? Because there's some nuggets in there for you, hints for what's next for you. Okay, thanks for asking that. Ooh, stained glass. Stained glass, gosh, not a lot of people do that, huh? Okay, let me see here. Hmm. Well, so one of the things I'm hearing with even teaching that and doing the stained glass is that you're not charging enough. And it may be hard to think, how can I charge more? But there's something in your relationship with money that I would say needs to be looked at. And you can still do your work, your stained glass, um, and you can still teach if you want. Yet it does feel like you need to really get comfortable with your prices. And it's almost like if you had one student that paid what maybe five are paying now, you would have so much more value in that. And that one student paying that much more would really value the lessons and want to do something with it. Like you get some really serious business there. So there's something to think about in that for you. Okay. Mm, uh, okay, this is fun. I walked into the bank this morning and was stunned to see a former love interest. In the past, I've dreamed about him and suddenly he was standing physically in front of me. Can you provide insight? Wow. You know what? I don't know if you listened to last week's session, but and if you didn't, go back and listen to the beginning because the guides clearly said, and I love this example, that last week the guide said to keep moving forward, keep moving forward, keep moving forward. If there's something in your past that you're meant to revisit, it will find a way to be in your forward motion. So I love it because that's exactly what's happening for you is you've been moving forward and here's somebody from your past is now on your path, on your forward path. So insight would be, yeah, it's something for you to be open to. It's something for you to be curious about. It's something for you to um, trust was brought back around to you for a reason and be open to it. That's kind of cool. And thank you for being that example of last week's session. I love it. Okay. Let's see here. What else we got here? Did I get to everybody over here? Oh, wait, here. Couch surfing after leaving DV situation and within weeks of losing everything to storage unit auction. Will I find resources needed to prevent this and get on my feet again and return to work? Ooh, that sounds like a lot. I'm so sorry you're going through that. And I'm saying that on a human level. I try not to say stuff like that because we don't know what a soul is here experiencing. And so, okay, for you, that's a lot, a lot, a lot. One of the things your guides would like you to realize, and they are telling me to tell you to do this. They want you to sit and be quiet. And they want, when you wake up in the morning, do this tomorrow morning, they said. They want you, no phones, no nothing, just do whatever you do, nothing on, and they want you to just sit. They want you to sit and they want you to be with yourself. They want you to listen to the nature, whatever that might be. Be with yourself, no distractions, and sit there long enough that you acknowledge yourself. One of the things that they're telling me to tell you is you've forgotten how powerful you are, and you've kind of got caught in this current, like you're at the mercy of other people and what they're doing, and just situations and circumstances. And they want you to really realize, wait, no, this is your life. This is your journey. You are powerful. And they want you to sit and really connect with that. They said you have a lot of inner wisdom and you have a lot of inner guidance. You've been hurt. You've been taken advantage of. Yet those are all things outside of you. But you're really in the driver's seat. You're driving your car. You get to choose what roads to drive down. And they want you to get back in touch with that part of yourself. They said that's very important, very important. All right, hang on here. Let's see what else you said here. Okay. If you lose everything, you lose everything. And that may be catastrophic in your mind to think about, yet at the same time it could be a blessing in disguise that you don't even know what's on the other side. And so they want you to be open to that too. If there's something happening in your life that you can't influence the outcome of, if it's inevitable, if it's going to happen, then the part of you has to trust in that process. The universe will often clear things out for us, sometimes in the most uncomfortable way, because we haven't been doing it for ourselves. And yet, what's on the other side of it are blessings and rewards. And so you might be in the middle of that cleaning out. So just hang tight and trust that this energy can't last forever either. It's kind of like, a raging river during a storm. It's like it's horrible while it's happening, yet eventually it levels out. And the peace and calm comes back, and they want you to understand that. But the most important thing is to get back in touch with yourself, your powerful divine self. Realize this is your journey. Your soul is in charge. Your soul's created this life for you. And there's really some deep guidance that you're meant to get in touch with. And they're telling me to remember, they're telling me to go back to age 3. And there's something there for you to remember that will be helpful. So I'm not sure what that is. Okay. This has been so much fun. Okay, let me see. Oh, I see. I've always been independent and one to help others in need. Dumbfounded as to why this is happening. Well, you know what? You can't help anyone anymore. And that's what happens. If you help people all the time, the universe is kind of like, let everybody stay in their lane. Sometimes we are meant to help people, but sometimes we help others because we don't have, hear this, self-worth and self-value. We find our worth and value by what we do for others, by how much we serve, how much we give. And what happens is we overgive to the point where we feel taken advantage of, or they're not appreciative of. but we've created a severe lack in our own lives. And so the universe will change the circumstances so that it's like, hey, you got to focus on yourself now. No more worrying about everybody else. Let them do their thing. You take care of you. And you get to where you want to be. And that may seem insurmountable right now, but the first thing I would say, stay in your lane. Don't worry about anybody else. And if you need to learn to ask for help, that's why, because you've been over helping, and it's time for you to receive, but it's time for you to take care of you. And you're bringing that back into balance. Okay. Let's see. You are so welcome for answering your question. Okay, you only have essentials, no furniture, irreplaceable family. You know what, though? It's like my mom said to me, a friend of hers said, you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. And I just thought, wow, that's really remarkable. We can't get attached to things here. And we have to learn about the impermanence of things, and even the genealogy records. Find a way to understand if you need those, if they're in your past, just like the friend seeing someone in the bank, it will find its way back to you in the future. But somehow or another, the universe is like, you don't need that right now. And you have to trust you're being taken care of. You're being guided. I sat this morning and I was asking my guide some very specific questions that I just needed guidance, reassurance. I needed answers, not needed, but I wanted. And can I tell you, within 10 minutes, I got an email from someone that said the most wonderful things to me, but almost answered word for word what I had asked my guides about 30, 40 minutes earlier. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you could begin to trust in that energy around you that is supporting you and guiding you and listening to you, I'll tell you, things are going to start taking off like wildfire. And you're going to have a very different life. And I would say that for everybody watching, if you could really trust in this unseen world and this guidance in this unseen world and this guidance that's there for you, you specifically, you have your own, I have my own, your life can change. And you can have a very different experience here. So I thank you for asking those questions. I really appreciate all of you chiming in today. I love all these questions. This is just so much fun to share this work, and the afternoon break is great. And anyway, I guess that's it for today. I will be here next week. Remember, if you have questions, email them to me, please, at betsy@betsygrady.com. And that's Betsy with 2 E's, Betsey. And like I said, I'll get to the questions I get emailed first. And then like today, we have plenty of time to answer questions you all typed in. So I'm so grateful for you all. And I look forward to next week already. Okay, thanks.